This is day 1 of coding every day until I hit 1K subs. So Premiere Pro is a bit too pricey for me right now, so I started working on a Python script to automate the creation of these videos. It's still a work in progress, but it's a fun project. First up, I figured out how to integrate Google Text-to-Speech into my Python projects. This is going to be super useful for future projects where I need automated voiceovers. Here's the code. Let me walk you through today's first LeetCode problem. It's called maximum absolute sum of any subarray. Basically, we're given an array of numbers, and we need to find the subarray with the largest absolute sum. A subarray is just a contiguous section of the original array. The absolute sum is just the sum of the subarray, ignoring any negative signs. I'll show my solution on the next slide. Here's my initial solution. I kept track of the current sum, the minimum sum so far, and the maximum sum so far. By subtracting the minimum sum from the maximum sum, we can find the largest difference, which represents the maximum absolute sum. Then, I checked out some other solutions and learned about the accumulate function in Python's itertools library. It's super handy for calculating cumulative sums. Here is the more optimal solution I learned. It creates a list of cumulative sums using accumulate, and then simply finds the difference between the maximum and minimum cumulative sums. Next, I tackled running sum of 1D array. This one's pretty straightforward. Given an array, we need to create a new array, where each element is the sum of all the previous elements up to that point. I will show my solution on the next slide. I use the accumulate function I just learned about. This makes the solution really concise. It directly calculates the running sum for each element. Last problem I did was partition array according to given pivot. In this one, you're given an array and a pivot value. The goal is to rearrange the array so that all elements less than the pivot come first, then all elements equal to the pivot, and finally all elements greater than the pivot. I'll show you my solution on the next slide. Here's my solution. I created 3 separate lists, one for elements less than the pivot, one for elements greater than the pivot, and a counter for the number of elements equal to the pivot. Then, I just combined them in the correct order. It turned out to be pretty efficient. That's all for today. Let me know what you think of the video format, and definitely comment with any ideas for future videos or projects you'd like to see. And if you want to help me continue making videos, you can donate at buymeaboba.com, link in description.